So in my last video, I talked a little bit about narcissism and most particularly primary narcissism. Now that's where it's the organic kind of natural form of narcissism where we're looking at an organic process like development. So today I want to expand a little bit on the end of that video, which is where I touched on grief as a narcissistic process. So when people are grieving or mourning, what happens is they actually pull back energies that are normally invested in relationships. And they use those energies to shore up their sense of self temporarily while they recover from whatever it is that's happened. Now, in the terms of grief, usually what happens is you actually pull back almost all the energy from the relationship to the person who's died and use that energy. Now, it's a process. Now, what actually happens in a lot of other cases is energy is brought from lots of relationships in, and then you find people getting, I suppose, a little withdrawn and things like that from people. And most of the time they recover. But what's actually happening there is it's a form of psychic retreat where what they're doing is they pull back into themselves and they use this narcissistic defense to defend a damaged ego or a damaged sense of self. And that can happen. It's a psychic or emotional injury that happens after a loss, but it can also happen, if you're passed over for a promotion in work, or if you break up with your partner, or various things like that. Can cause these events to happen. Now, where this becomes problematic is when somebody fails to emerge from behind that narcissistic defense. So they build for themselves a little imaginary paradise in their own head where they're perfect and nothing's their fault and they didn't do it. And it's very hard to get someone back out of that place because it's not really pleasant to venture back out into the real world. Now, it's possible, and most people do come back out into the real world eventually because they realize that place isn't real.